Okay, so let's go back to 2012, Detroit versus Atlanta. And Calvin Johnson is in the middle of one of the greatest receiving seasons we've ever seen. Late in the game, he catches the deep ball over the middle, and with that single moment, he passes Jerry Rice to set the all-time record for most receiving yards in a season.
Johnson snaps it close. There it is! Megatron into the record books. The single season all-time NFL receiving yardage record.
1,964 to be specific. A number so absurd it barely feels real. And for more than a decade, nobody could touch it. Like it might never fall. That is, until 2025 Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
Meantime, Jaxon Smith-Njigba is on pace to break the all-time receiving record in the NFL, a record set back in 2012 by Calvin Johnson, 1,964 yards.
For the end zone and scoring and dunking is Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
But before he became a wide receiver one in Seattle, Jaxon Smith-Njigba was the third option in one of the greatest college receiver rooms ever assembled.
It seems like your college career and professional career sort of parallel, right? You get to Ohio State, 5-star recruit, 2,000 yards your senior year, 35 tuds, but Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave are there, right? 2 future first rounders. And you gotta kind of make your way.
Ohio State 2021, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. And behind them, a quiet kid from Rockwall, Texas, the third option. He didn't have the flash, he didn't have the hype, but he had something better. He had the tape.
Yes, I was a 5-star and stuff like that, but I always felt like underrated. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like I had to prove something.
That season, JSN quietly delivered the greatest receiving year in Ohio State history. 95 catches, 1,606 yards. And that Rose Bowl performance? Yeah, 347 yards. So absurd it became a historic outlier.
Ohio State Buckeyes eager to remove the bad taste of that loss to the Michigan Wolverines. They are minus some stars, but they are still packing plenty of talent. First down throw, Smith-Njigba is open, and again Stroud drops it in, stiff arm, all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. I'm going through a touchdowns in his last 2 completions. Can he make it 3 in a row? Smith-Njigba, touchdown!
Before the game, I know Garrett, Chris out.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled up to Dallas. My homie's a witness right here, sitting next to me. I pulled up to Dallas. I said, bruh, pull up to this game. Something crazy about that. I'm about to go crazy on him.
Stroud on second down. There's a slant. Smith-Njigba still alive. Stiff arm. And a record-breaking afternoon gets even more impressive for number 11. 4-man rush. Stroud has time. Delivers. Smith-Njigba. Who else? First down at the 30. Stroud watching for the end zone. Jump ball. Touchdown, Smith-Njigba. Are you kidding me? You could watch this sport forever. You won't see many better games by a wide receiver than this one.
Blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
Everything was lining up for the perfect breakout season. With Wilson and Olave entering that year's NFL draft, JSN was finally the presumed wide receiver one at Ohio State. The world was ready to see the full version of Jaxon Smith-Njigba. But then, the hamstring. Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. All right, guys, so this week's been wild. Whether you're locked into the games, the headlines, or the scores, there's always something happening. And if you've been wanting to get a little more invested into the action, this is for you. I've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to hook you up with an offer that's honestly perfect for jumping in. All right, so here's what they're doing right now. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Again, new customers, turn $5 into $200 if your bet wins, pay them bonus bets. And honestly, once you're in, there's a ton you can do with those bonus bets. You can stay in on the action with same game parlays for a shot at bigger payouts, or jump into live betting on in-progress games and star props as things unfold in real time. And if betting isn't available in your state yet, no worries, DraftKings still has daily fantasy sports, so you can compete for cash prizes and still be a part of the fun. So, if you want to get in on this week's action, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up, and make sure you use my promo code ANOTHERSPORTS. Once again, new customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Thanks again, DraftKings, for sponsoring this video, and the crown is yours.
Smith-Njigba had a really, really good
2021 season for Ohio State. And then last year, he suffered an early hamstring injury and only caught 5 balls all year and eventually was shut down for the year. And, as one team, when I was talking to him, said, they wanted to know basically, why did this hamstring injury linger for so long? Why were you not able to rehab that? Because obviously, you get a hamstring injury in September and then you don't play for the next 4 months, basically. Why?
The injury that derails everything and spares no one. He tried to push through it, but he just physically couldn't. 3 games, that's all he could go.
I tore my hamstring.
You tore your hamstring?
Yeah, I didn't play my last year of college at all. I only really played one full season at Ohio State, 1 season.
In the world of college football, disappearing for a year feels like disappearing for forever. So, critics wondered if the Rose Bowl was just lightning in a bottle.
What are the reasons that people aren't more bullish right now on Jaxon Smith-Njigba?
Coming into the season prior to the injury, talking to scouts, it was like, all right, his production was outstanding and what he did was amazing. But maybe it's more system than talent.
There's a lot of rumors coming out like he could have played, could he play? Is he opting to sit out pretty much, but they don't want to word it that way?
Where's the explosive trait? Where's the speed? Where's the vertical ability? There's drops on tape.
Jaxon Smith-Njigba, he has been forgotten about because he had the hamstring injury and did not basically play the entire season this last year.
So I struggle with Jaxon Smith-Njigba. I really do. But I do think he's going to be a number 3 receiver. And every NFL scout I've talked to said, you take a number 3 early, mid-second round. That's not a first-round pick.
With the 20th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jaxon Smith-Njigba, wide receiver, Ohio State.
All right,
So, draft night arrives. Most teams see risk, but Seattle, they see reality. Metcalf still on the roster and Lockett still doing Lockett things. JSN will walk into the NFL as he always has, behind the stars, behind the names, behind the expectations. He becomes the 3rd option again. But Seattle didn't draft Jaxon just to be a role player. They were planning for the future. Only nobody knew it just yet.
I'm excited to meet the whole team and get active with them boys. I know they already got a talented group, a talented team, so anytime I can come in and do it, let's go.
His rookie season was as to be expected. Moments, flashes, brilliance tucked inside a role built for patience, not explosion. But the NFL has a way of forcing your hand. And in week 7 of the 2024 season, that moment arrived. DK went down with a rib injury. And suddenly, Seattle needed someone to fill a void they'd never truly faced before. They didn't just need a placeholder, they needed a star. And JSN stepped forward.
Here's Smith, fires, touchdown! It's Jaxon Smith-Njigba. JSN, his first career score in the National Football League.
The change wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic or anything like that. It looked natural, like someone finally placed the right key into the right lock. So he took the targets, he won the matchups, and changed the geometry of the offense. He would go on to finish the season with 100 receptions, over 1,100 receiving yards, and his first Pro Bowl selection. Not bad for a 3rd option receiver. But the real story wasn't the stats, it was what that meant, Because for the first time, Seattle wasn't looking at him as a developmental receiver. They were looking at him as, the guy. And then came the offseason, the great reshuffling that changed literally everything. Lockett released. Metcalf traded to Pittsburgh.
The team releasing Tyler Lockett and also DK Metcalf requesting a trade. Roz, what do you think this means for Seattle? What's going on there?
Jaxon Smith-Njigba was a first-round pick a couple of years ago, played like one this past season, so obviously they know they have the replacements in-house.
Seattle's receiving room suddenly emptied. And for the first time in his adult life, Jaxon Smith-Njigba was the number 1 receiver. And he earned it.
It's great, to learn from those guys, DK, Tyler, Garrett, Chris, Coop. It's awesome, so I don't take that for granted. But I'm excited for new opportunities. Stuff I've been praying for and stuff that I've been wanting, so I just want to take full advantage of it.
The 2025 Seahawks walked into the season as a team in transition. Geno Smith, the Pro Bowl story of the early 2020s, was gone. Seattle moved on, searching for something new, something different. And in March, they would make their unexpected move. They signed Sam Darnold, a quarterback who had lived a career of restarts: Jets, Panthers, 49ers, Vikings, Seahawks. A player who was once labeled a bust, then a backup, then a bridge, now handed the keys to a franchise rebooting its identity. Most analysts shrugged, some laughed. Nobody circled Sam Darnold and JSN as the future of offensive football. But something clicked. Not on paper or in theory or anything like that, but on the field. Darnold, he needed a number one, and JSN finally got the chance to be that. And once the season started, it was obvious. Darnold trusted him instantly. Not only on scripted plays either, but on broken ones. On first reads, on bailouts, when he was open or when he shouldn't be.
Darnold sets to throw and floating one down the middle. And Smith-Njigba has it. Touchdown Seahawks.
Every big moment, every gotta have it snap, Darnold went to JSN. And Jackson rewarded the trust by turning separation into art.
The offense is playing in this environment could be trouble. And right for the end zone and scoring and dunking is Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Flags down afterward for the celebration.
And the numbers, they don't even really make sense. Through 11 games, he's had 1,313 yards, shattering DK Metcalf's franchise record in under 3 months. He commanded over 37% of the team's targets, a number wide receivers don't really hit. And with each week, the whispers got louder. Is this the best receiver in the league? Is he really on pace for 2,000 yards? Is Calvin Johnson's record in danger? By midseason, the answer was yes. Unmistakably yes.
Meantime, Jaxon Smith-Njigba is on pace to break the all-time receiving record in the NFL, a record set back in 2012 by Calvin Johnson, 1,964 yards.
See, in 2012, Calvin Johnson set a record no one believed could be broken. A monument to dominance, a number that felt untouchable, 1,964 yards. And now, in 2025, Jackson is pacing to do something no receiver has ever done, 2,000 yards. Something even Megatron couldn't reach. Something that would rewrite the history of the position. The kid who spent his entire life behind bigger names, louder personalities, and flashier stars is finally standing alone at the top of the sport because he earned it. Inch by inch, step by step, route by route.
Darnold with time going up top for Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Drops it in the bucket, and he will